American people are unaware that they can travel to Cuba. Many Americans don't know how easy it is to travel to Cuba. Now you don't need to prove, you don't need to ask for permission. You can only contact a travel agency in the United States and tell them that you want to travel to Cuba. They will give you a visa. You sign the visa, and then you have to mark under which category you are traveling to Cuba. It's easier than many people believe. Anyway,
let me make it very clear that as from December 17th, 2014, the government of the United States decided to expand or authorize 5 other reasons why Americans would be allowed to go to Cuba. The fact is that there were 7 categories. Then those other 5 would make it a lot easier for Americans to find a reason to go to Cuba. Let's go directly into which are those 12 valid reasons for Americans to be able to travel legally to Cuba. Also, it's very important to make it very clear that Americans are not supposed to travel to Cuba on tourism. So tourism, going to the beach, is not a valid reason. Which are those 12 valid reasons? The first one is family visit. Obviously, you need to have the second point of that first category, which is if you are a Cuban national. Number 2, official U.S. government business as well as journalist activities. There are many freelance journalists. You are allowed to go to Cuba as a freelance journalist as long as you can prove that you are someone who is regularly employed as a journalist, supporting broadcast or technical personnel, freelance journalists with record of previously working as such in other projects. This means that if you decide to be a freelance journalist today and you want to go to Cuba tomorrow, you probably won't qualify within these categories because you need to have a record of having done this freelance journalist activity before. We go into the fourth category, professional research and meetings. Research directly related to the traveler's professional background. That is, if you are a scientist on any branch of science, you are allowed to go to Cuba to do some of these researches. Professional meeting is not for the promotion of tourism and directly relates to the traveler's professional background. Okay, you can go to Cuba as long, to meet professionally or to participate in events of this sort, as long as it is not an event or meeting aimed at promoting tourism. Remember, as I said at the beginning, tourism is not a valid reason to go to Cuba. You cannot go to the beach or just go to Cuba to go to the beach. You're not allowed. So far. Then we go into the fifth category, which is a long one. I'm just going to briefly pan through it. It's educational activities. Educational activities like persons, academic institutions, and their faculties, staff, and students who travel for. You can go to participate in structured education programs that offer credits by graduate or undergraduate degrees. Obviously, there are several points here that kind of support this specific category. I'm not going to go through all of them. You can always go into the website for OFAC, which is the Office of Foreign Asset Control, which is the institution that regulates these categories and supervises the people that go to Cuba under one of these categories. So within these educational activities also fall the people-to-people travel. And this is one of the most used categories under which Americans travel nowadays. This is, as it says, the category in itself says, is people to people. The reason for this category to exist is only that the American travelers who want to go to Cuba to encounter, to meet people, the people of Cuba, participate in activities which are like day-to-day for the Cuban people, visit the basic facilities there, etc. And that's pretty much what the people to people is. These activities are to have an organized itinerary from day to night and are not supposed to have a lot of recreational time for the traveler. Then we go into the religious activities. Obviously, if you're a member or staff of religious organizations located in the United States. Obviously, these will require also probably a visa from the Cuban government, but this is one of the authorized categories. Would be public performances, clinics, workshops, athletic and other competitions and exhibitions. Obviously, if you're going to Cuba to participate in a competition, in an exhibition, if you're going there to perform or be part of a workshop, you're authorized to go. Support for the Cuban people. This is, I would say, the most used category under which many people travel, because it covers or gives the coverage to many activities that could also fall into it. Of course, it is not, probably in some cases, it's not being used as it should, but it's quite open, so it kind of allows, and I'm going to read this one in specific. Support for the Cuban people, activities to work with recognized human rights organizations, independent organizations which promote a peaceful transition to democracy or strengthen civil society in Cuba. As I said, it's very open. This is very subjective, I would say, because whatever you do when you go to Cuba, you participate in social activities there, try to explain to the people of Cuba how the American democracy works, that could be considered the third article of this category, which is strengthen civil society in Cuba. So as I said, it's very open, it's very subjective, so many things could fall into that. Then you have humanitarian projects, support of medical and health related projects, construction projects, environmental projects, projects for formal or non-formal educational training, etc. This is more specific. Obviously, when you're talking about humanitarian projects, you need to actually have the necessary elements to substantiate this sort of category. And obviously, if you're really going into that sort of travel to Cuba, it's very easy to substantiate because I'm sure you would have prepared your travel accordingly. Number 10, activity for private foundations or research or educational institutes with an established interest in international relations to collect information for non-commercial purpose. Very clear. Any sort of research or sort of studies that you want to perform in Cuba, which are non-commercial. So you're not going there to perform a survey for a company in the States that is going to pay you. That's not the sort of activity that you're supposed to do under this category. Exportation, importation. If you wish to consult a little bit more about it, you can always go to the website of
A group of famous pensioners are on a global quest. Traveling the world, exploring how different countries deal with growing old.
Bring it on, I can't wait for it.
Having sampled a supersized retirement in China,
This is a nightmare.
Miriam Margolyes,
What we waiting for?
Wayne Sleep, and Bobby George
Oh, hello.
are reuniting with well-known marigold face Jan Leeming.
Hello, how are you?
It's lovely to have somebody new again that you sort of knew but didn't get to know a lot.
And this time they're trying out the communist approach
Got your passport?
Yeah, yeah.
in Cuba.
I'm going to do as much as I can while I can, because once you're pushing up the daisies, there's no chance to do anything.
Cuba, an island nation on the cusp of change. Famous for its vibrant culture, communist revolution, and vintage cars. And with a life expectancy of 79, one of the highest in Latin America, could this be a place to spend your golden years?
Do you think it's going to be very hot when we leave this?
I'm hot
Inside
already.
your-
I'm sweating.
Yeah, I feel like I'm melting.
Oh my goodness.
The group have landed in Cuba's capital city, Havana. From the airport, it's a half-hour journey to one of the coastal districts on the northern edge of the city.
Welcome to Cuba.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Can you take that?
Of course.
That's my first thing done.
You're in double.
You wait for me over there, I pick
Yeah.
it up the car.
Okay.
Okay.
Bring it out the car.
The car.
Very good English.
Okay.
Yeah, better than my Spanish.
I have been living with a Spanish gentleman for 23 years, and I don't speak a word of Spanish.
Voy a recoger el carro.
La recoger car.
Recoger.
La recoger.
I know hola, for instance, and ¿cómo estás? How are you? And that's about it.
It's hot.
We feel the warmth in there, can't you?
Have to be careful not to get thrush.
Really?
Yeah. Under your arms and in your groin. You've got to make sure that all the crevices are dry.
Yes.
I know that Jan, she is a lady, and I'm an old tart, so I will have to be careful about my language. It does piss her off a bit.
Well, we're going in one of these.
It's a 1949 Chevy.
Very
1949.
nice.
Fantastic.
Oh, this is incredible. It just reminds me of all those Elvis Presley movies I used to see in the 50s and 60s. I love the car.
It's a little bit high.
It is high. I'm in.
Dear.
Okay, here we go.
Look, this Errol's is 1949.
1949, sir.
So that's 67, 68 years old.
That's incredible.
Old-fashioned, see, built to last.
Like Uber.
I was just going to say you, Azam.
Look at them. Look at the colours.
Fabulous.
It's
They're
like a
very good
rainbow. Would I even think of retiring to Cuba? Put it this way, if I had a partner, I'd go anywhere in the world.
Who's that guy?
Right in front of us is Che Guevara.
After the revolution nearly 60 years ago, Cuba relied heavily on Soviet support until the USSR's collapse in 1991. In the economic crisis that followed, Cuba started to open its doors to tourism.
You said you've been to Cuba before.
Yes.
Was that with the ballet?
Yes, they have an international ballet festival. I've been to Havana 3 times before. It's palatial. I mean, all these palaces that the Spanish built in 1900 are all corroding and falling down as if it's under the sea. Some people, when they first come here, they don't like it at all because they think it's too poverty-stricken. But I just think it's romantic.
This is history, and you can't get away from your history.
For the duration of their time in the city, the group will be staying in the neighborhood of Vedado with 2 local families.
Oh, it's here.
Miriam and Bobby are moving into a house owned by married couple Horacio and Marta.
Sì? Hola. Siamo arrivate.
Hi, hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm Miriam.
Horacio.
Horacio.
Even when I don't look, I am your host.
How nice.
I'm
You
Bobby.
look my host.
Bobby, how are you?
You look a perfect
Welcome
host.
to Casa Antigua and Havana.
Thank you very much.
A ver, let me help you with your luggage.
Hello.
Yo no hablo inglés. No,
She
pero
doesn't,
no
she
vamos a
doesn't speak
entender.
English, but
No, parlo
she wants
italiano.
Oh, darling.
Ah, well, if you speak some Italian, and maybe easier.
Bienvenido a la
Bobby.
casa.
Jan and Wayne are staying just around the corner with their retired hosts Antonio and Diana.
Hola.
Hola.
¿Cómo estás?
Hello. Glad to
Hello.
meet you.
Nombre Wayne.
Wayne.
My name is Tony.
Tony. Tony.
And Diana.
Diana. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás?
Ah, muy bien, muy
Good,
bien.
good, good. Un poquito español habla.
Ok.
Español.
Come.
It's really beautiful.
Rooms, and in this way, here is one of the rooms.
Miriam, what side are you going to lay on? What side do you want?
Look, they put daffodil flowers.
You want this side or I have that
You
side?
choose the side.
And I teach classical ballet and jazz and tap. And Jan was famous. She read the news on television.
Can I tell my own story?
Well, get on, well, you will anyway. I mean, we can't get a bloody word in edgeways. Jan is a very sensitive woman. She'll defend her ground because she thinks she's being attacked, and she's not. So you have to have kid gloves on with Jan sometimes.
Are you all right?
Yeah, sit down and rock yourself to sleep. Lovely.
Oh.
Got the fans on for us.
I'm always a bit nervous of rocking chairs.
Oh, they're lovely. Lovely, huh?
Beautiful place.
Ori, ¿me pasarás el cenicero para allá porque esta acá?
I think
Es que
you are using her rocking chair. This better you go to other
No,
side.
because I've got the fan.
You have an...
No, I want this
there is
one.
fun for everybody. The
I
fun
want
is the
this
most
one.
important.
No, I like it here.
Él quiere que
What
yo-
I like, I like. I like this.
Llévame esto para allá.
Move that one there, and then you see how bossy I am. Because
Ese es mi puesto, me lo quitaste.
thank you. I just love this.
Do you know, when there's a bit of a breeze, this is most acceptable, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very nice.
Hello, we're up here.
Oh, hello. Hello, hello.
Come on up.
Hi, hi, hi.
To mark the group's arrival in the
So I'll sit
neighbourhood,
here.
Jan and Wayne have been invited over to Horacio and Marta's for their first taste of Cuban home cooking.
It's gorgeous.
That is a royal cake. That is rice and layer of chicken.
Chicken,
And over mayonnaise.
wow.
Can we begin?
Of course,
Salud.
Salud.
Salud. Salud.
Cabrevece.
que le aproveche.
Que le aproveche.
Que le
I said
aproveche.
cabrevece.
It's good.
Lovely.
¿Te gusta?
Lovely.
What do you do? I mean, there's a great deal of art around this place.
We are both a product of the system and the revolution. Everything was very easy, and we tried many things. She studied painting, I studied piano. Was for free, easy.
Oh.
After the Russian collapse, we had a very hard time, and then we were in our own for very long.
Isolated.
Insulated. Insulated.
So the revolution in the beginning was a very good thing for you.
Yes, of course.
I want to ask about the internet, because I know that this is not the same in Cuba as it is in other countries.
You must have a card.
A card.
A card.
Okay. The internet I came to, I suppose, late in life, and it is incredibly important. I don't have time for porn and Instagram, but not to be able to get emails and send emails and connect with my wider circle of friends is going to be very difficult.
And those are the cards for access. You must to scratch this and you can read.
Right, catch you later then.
Well, have a luck.
Thank you.
See you
Thank
later
you.
and enjoy your access.
Thank you very much indeed.
Subject to state censorship, the internet in Cuba is amongst the most tightly controlled in the world. With the majority of home connections banned, most residents must make a trip to their local Wi-Fi zone.
Oh, I thought it was going to be a shop you went to. It's in the middle of the park.
No,
then.
there really isn't a park.
So you can pick the internet up in this area then? Is that the idea of
Apparently,
it?
we'll sit here. Thank you. Siamo inglesi qui. We're English.
Yeah? Okay.
From London.
Oh, okay. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
With the state pension as low as $11 a month and Wi-Fi access costing around $1.50 an hour, surfing the net doesn't come cheap.
You've got to scratch that off or something.
That's the number, isn't it?
That's the number.
Yeah, wait a minute. That's my password, and then I go to...
You need...
Miriam, what's your password?
I'm not telling you.
Hello. It should be hello.
Now you need to go to... Can I...
Oh, dear.
Oh, they stop.
Wayne and Jan have decided to venture into Havana's city centre to do some shopping.
Oh, and the rubble, darling.
Cuba has two currencies.
Exchange rate. I don't know what this means.
While most locals use Cuban pesos, foreigners generally use the international currency known as kooks.
Yay!
It worked.
The last time I was here, that was still being done up.
Yeah.
It was filthy dirty, and look what they've done with it since. It's incredible.
I expected Havana to be like this. I didn't expect so much decrepitness. But then, of course, I mean, they had almost 60 years in the wilderness, you know. I mean, the curtain came down and that was that. Look how narrow that shop is. They've made a shop out of a staircase. Very industrious, turning your staircase into a shop.
Yes. Yeah, very good. What is this hat? This one? Nigel, it's quite nice.
Let's have a look. Suits you. Suits
Yeah?
you. Yes.
Quite la cuenta?
20.
20 was too much.
Yeah. No, everybody 25.
Everybody? You sure?
20 kooks is the equivalent of nearly £15.
Thank you. I have it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You know, in England, it's much easier to do internet. How for you, a young person? Come fa?
We don't need this, really.
You don't need it. I think it makes them more intelligent not to have internet. I think we're all a load of wankers on it, frankly. It's much better if you talk to people and look at people and don't have your head buried in a screen all the time.
She'll do all this and she won't get no emails. I think it's a good thing if it don't control your life. But it's not just the internet, it's the actual phone itself. You go on the train, no one says good morning to you, I mean, because they're all on their phones. We've got to have it, but I think it's a bit over the top sometimes.
I've got 119 emails. You said I didn't have any.
Yeah, they've only done that for a laugh. I suppose it's the same one they sent it 119
No,
times.
shut up. 112 I've got.
Oh, 112, not so many now then.
You're a tease.
Oh, dear.
I like to be on the internet for hours at a time. So if I were living here for a long time, I would have to have internet. And I think I would have to wait until it became more easily available. Ridiculous. I mean, I can't look through 112.
Yeah, but like you said, a lot of them are rubbish ones.
A lot of them are rubbish. Yeah. I'm not going to do a survey on incontinence.
A little bit of a dance, darling.
Little bit of a dance. My mother said, if you've got a good lead, then you can dance, if you have a sense of rhythm.
Hello there.
It's the group's first evening in Havana.
Hola. Here we are.
Keen to sample the local nightlife, they're meeting up before heading out for a night on the tiles.
What was yours like?
We had a good time. We went to the park and we did our internet. It's noticeable that nobody's obsessed with it. And this is good for me because I can't do it, so forget about it. And I'll just get on with life.
I think it's time to go because it's getting late.
Okay, come on.
Will you play the piano for us
On
at
we
some
go.
stage?
Andiamo.
Come on.
And don't tell me my knickers show, Jan, because I know they do.
Tonight, Horacio and Marta are taking the group to one of Havana's premier night spots. Just 5 minutes from their homestay, it's a destination for pensioners all over the city.
She's ready.
I'm ready, look.
She's ready.
I'm ready.
Every week, for $1.50, hundreds of Cubans over the age of 60 pack the dance floor.
Horatio Martyr are like a double act. They have it in their bodies, this natural rhythm they have here.
Two sparkling water. Bottle.
Sparkling water. 2 bottles.
Glass. Glass.
Just for me, the music is too loud, but it was very infectious. It's good to shake your bits about. I like Cuba. Don't you? Yes. I'm surprised. I'm not very good.
See, I'm a strange individual in some ways. Although I like my quietness, I like my own company, I'd love to still be in a relationship. I was all my adult life, and yet I'm very independent.
You want to go dancing to the other place?
I'm very flattered. Not today.
You promise me tomorrow.
Maybe.
I wait for you tomorrow. Okay.
It's been a fabulous evening, and it's nice to think that even at my age, guys are happy to dance with me.
Well, this was your first time in Havana.
Yes.
Tell me your impressions.
Fantastic.
Cup of tea?
Got the tea, yeah, here we go. Look.
Agua. Agua no, basta.
It's 8 a.m. and the temperature in Havana is already 30 degrees.
It's boiling. And I'm going to sweat in my groin.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good morning. Started already?
Tell me about last night. Your impressions.
Last night was very interesting.
Was it?
Yes.
I loved it last night.
Because
all the
I-
dancing.
Good fun.
I had a date, or could have had.
You didn't.
A gentleman came up and asked me to dance. He was very kind and guided me through the dancing and said, "You come to another dance place."
Oh.
And I said, "Oh, thank you very much, but no." And he was so persistent. You can't.
just wanted a fuck.
Oh, stop being so vulgar, Miriam. No way was I going to go somewhere in Cuba with a man I didn't know. You must be joking.
Oh, I would.
I have another two.
Right, okay.
But I have this other.
You've done me like a kipper.
With the city heat rising, Miriam, Jan and Wayne have decided to cool off with a morning dip.
I expect it to be a bit like a warm bath.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yes, I think
Well, I don't think
Don't think it'll be that
can't be
hot.
as cold as it is in the UK.
Close to their neighbourhood, they've heard about a spot where pensioners socialise and swim in the refreshing waters of the Gulf of Mexico.
Hola. Hola. Hola.
So do you come here every day to swim?
Yeah, every day.
And it's a good way of saying hello, how are you? Discuss your problems.
Yes.
So you're never alone?
No.
No. I think loneliness for elderly people is worse than anything. And you keep healthy.
Yeah.
How old are you?
80.
80? Gosh, that's amazing.
How often do you come? Every day. Every day. Because he is also a safeguard, you know?
A lifeguard.
Uh-huh.
That's why
Yes.
you have a good physique.
He says that you're a beautiful lady.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll have to come and live here.
Of course.
I don't get that kind of attention at home.
Coming to Cuba is a good idea. Should we go in?
Yes, let's do it.
Now I want to see how they're getting in, because I won't be so agile.
No, be very careful.
I don't really care much about appearance. Jan, for example, she is, as it were, my opposite number. She's everything that Miriam isn't. I can talk, I can make jokes, I hope, make people happy. But I don't look great, but I manage.
She's in, she's in.
You know, do I worry about it at night? No, I don't.
I can't turn over. That's the thing. You push me towards there. I'm getting scared.
Yeah.
It's really hard to turn over. It makes me nervous. I'm just, you know, I'm a frightened Jew. That's what I am.
Okay.
Whilst the others are at the beach, Bobby has joined Horacio for a Cuban daily ritual. Newspaper and a coffee.
Right? ¿Está bien?
Yeah.
Brahma is the name for the jet used by Fidel to come to Cuba from Mexico.
In Cuba, locals can only read newspapers approved by the government.
So when you read a paper, this is an official one.
This is the official information from the government.
The government, so that obviously it could be like trimmed down a bit because they don't want to put everything in the paper.
Well,
or not.
Whatever you read here is what the government decides the people will read.
That's it, okay. Go up here, shall we?
Is he married?
No, not now.
Oh, you mean he's widowed or divorced?
He?
Yeah.
Divorced.
Divorced. With a body like that, I should think the women run after him.
He said that you are a very beautiful woman.
Thank you very much. Well, you
Muchas
are a
gracias.
very lovely man. We could go for coffee and you could translate.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Gracias, muchas gracias.
Thank you.
Nice body.
Oh, yeah.
Big balls.
Oh, stop it.
I just said that to wind me up.
You like talking to men?
I do. I openly admit, and it's nothing to do with flirting. I like men's company. I like talking with men. And quite frankly, if they say nice things, it's lovely.
You could come and save me in the water instead.
Oh, it's a baby coffee.
It's espresso.
Espresso, is it? They're tiny. Looks like an egg cup.
It's strong. That is the Cuban style for drink coffee.
It's not bad.
I like it, like most Cuban. One of the most important things in any Cuban house is to offer a coffee.
So what was it like growing up as a kid?
My memories just are related with the revolution. The 50s, the situation in Cuba was really hard for everybody. Fidel was a driver, but the feeling, the national feeling was to change the situation.
Yeah, when I was young, it was hard as well. It was, because after the war, it was horrible. I was brought up, my dad was blind. I didn't have anything. I had to go to jumble sales to get the clothes. When you're young, you always remember something. And I always say, coloured telly.
Collie?
Coloured television, coloured television.
Yeah.
And the Beatles changed the way we lived. That's what I say.
It's like
It's changed for you,
it's
but
like
it's the same as that, it's the same as me.
Every summer, Havana is host to one of the world's best-known carnivals. Having been invited to take part in tonight's celebrations, Wayne is keen to explore the local dance scene.
For me to move abroad and settle down, I need my culture fix. Dance and choreography is still very important to me. I tried to retire when I was 40 years old,
boring. I couldn't do that for longer than a week.
The dance company is run by veteran choreographer Santiago Alfonso.
I've never seen anything like this before. The suppleness of the bodies is incredible. That's why the Cuban dancers are some of the best in the world now. Thank you. How are you? It's fantastic. Hello, hola.
Buenas.
Buenas. Nombre Wayne Sleep. And I was with the Royal Ballet.
Bailó con el Royal Ballet.
For 20 years.
Por 20 años.
I'm 69 years old.
Yeah, you're younger than me.
And I've got... I'm not younger than you. You're younger than me.
I'm 78.
You're not 78.
I'm due.
God, there's hope for us all.
You'll see something.
Look at you. He's still moving? Is he good? Is he a good teacher? Yeah, you have to say yes. Can you tell me about this dance? What do you call this dance?
No. This is a mixture of ballet, modern, primitive, and Cuban folklore, all together.
It's fantastic.
Now
Loved it.
Now you do it with us.
Oh.
You will think with us.
Now I will learn Cuban dance.
This way.
Why I keep coming back to Cuba is for the passion and the drive they have. The hunger is incredible that you don't really see anywhere else.
That's it.
When I joined in, I felt like a complete beginner. None of my classical technique came into use at all. Thank you.
Say something.
I can't speak. Oh, it's fantastic.
Like that?
I won't be able to walk for a week.
Marta! È possibile venire un momento?
Sì. I want to make some gin tonica.
Agua tónica.
Tonica, gin, ghiaccia, ice.
Hielo.
Hielo.
Hielo. One moment, please.
Just going to fart. That's it. Sorry, Bobby.
I heard it.
I love gin and tonic. It's a great drink. It's really my only tipple. Well, that's not quite true because I do like whiskey.
Chin chin. Salud.
Salud.
job.
Needs more gin.
That was incredible. I've never seen dancing like that before. I've seen every other kind of dance, and it's incredible. And look at this view. This is Havana.
Wait, this is Havana. Cuba is a culture of confluences. We have from Spain, we have from Africa.
I see,
and
yes.
all meet. On top of that, our weather,
Yes.
our light.
Yes.
That makes us very open people.
Yes, yes. Do you think you can go on teaching forever?
Till I would love, if the Lord blesses me, I would love to be working till the last minute.
I think the key to old age, from what I've seen here, is that you must keep going, keep doing something. If I lived here, I'd teach class, maybe form my own group, and just get something new going. Oh, I wouldn't be sitting by a pool. Well, some of the day.
What's that?
But your bum's got to go out and out and out and out.
Oh my God.
It's 6 p.m. Ahead of tonight's carnival, the group are gathering at Wayne and Jan's house.
It's very different from ours.
Yes, it is. Oh, and yours is
It's
very
modern.
arty.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Isn't it?
Lovely.
To help get in the carnival spirit, Wayne has been sent a traditional outfit by the dance company he will be performing with.
I'm really going to enjoy it. Once you hear that music, you just can't help dancing and moving. And I'm sure all my lot will be jigging around in their seats as well.
Hello. Oh, wow.
Olé.
Olé.
Is that a skirt? You got to wear a skirt as well?
Oh, yeah, you wait.
Oh, my God.
Actually, I think it's rather stylish.
Well, they keep the flies away, them bottoms, are they, or something?
Well, there we are, loves. I'm off.
Thank you.
All right, son, be lucky. Oh, dear. Does it ever end?
As long as I'm
It's carnival time in Havana. Throughout August, thousands of locals flock to the coastal road known as the Malecon to soak up the free festival atmosphere.
I never thought I would ever be performing in a Havana Carnival. Very nice.
For one night only, Wayne will be joining one of the dance troupes from across the city that make up the traditional parade.
I'm feeling like the Pirate of the Caribbean, but I'm not feeling very good about the dance. Oh! I've done no rehearsal for this, but I've got two beautiful ladies who look like zebras in black and white, who are going to guide me through. I'll be like putty in their hands.
Blimey, there's lots of people. I always try and steer clear of places like this. I get a bit nervous in big crowds because I'm so short. But the colour and the movement, as Barry Humphries would say, the vitality. No, it's good. Woo!
Dance is always part of my life. I think it's given me a tenacity, a staying power. The worst thing about growing old is that you have much less time than you had when you were younger, when we didn't even think of a time limit to our lives. So I don't believe in suddenly saying things like, oh, I don't think I could do that now. I'm not growing old gracefully. I'm growing old as a sort of juvenile delinquent.
Fantastic! Oh!
I didn't know what I was doing.
Wonderful, wonderful.
I was a bit worried that I'd make a fool of myself in front of all these fantastic moving men and women, and I think we just about pulled it off. You know, there's life in the old boy yet.
Right, are we going? Oh, no, we're waiting for Madam.
Miriam's having a dump, she said.
Miriam felt another movement, and I don't want to be there when it moves.
Here I am.
Was it a big one?
Yep.
Wayne.
Well,
You don't
we
have to join
anyway.
in. You don't have to join in, you know.
Sorry to hold
As
you
long
up.
as you feel better.
Well, I feel more secure, let's put it like that.
Good.
This morning, the group are making the short walk to the local park.
Atención, vamos a hacer ejercicio de relajación.
To help keep Cuba's elderly population fit and healthy, the state funds a variety of neighborhood initiatives. One of the most popular are the al fresco exercise programs.
Ahora vamos para la cintura. Empezamos por la derecha. Uno, dos.
I'll do this bit,
How you
all right?
doing, dear?
Yeah, this is not. I don't mind doing this bit.
Do you like it?
No, I don't like it. Non mi piace.
Non ti piace? What kind of exercise do you like? Ti piace?
Zero.
Zero. It's a good, very good for our health, especially when we are not so young.
True.
Aspiramos.
I would like to be more active, so I should get off my bottom. You dig your grave with your knife and fork.
So you do this every day?
Yes, it's very good. I suffer a chronic stress, so I started taking here classes of exercises, and also in the old age university.
What is the old age university?
They give you different subjects that are very interesting subjects to how to deal with your problems day by day.
Is
My
it
problem.
free, or do you have to pay?
No, it's free. Totally
It's free. This is the government, presumably. The government give it for free to anyone over
48, something like that, and up to 90,
Up to 90.
90 and more.
As well as free healthcare, Cuba's pensioners have access to over 230 state-run day centers. In Havana, there's a university for senior citizens. Miriam and Bobby are keen to see if they can learn anything new.
What is the subject today?
Today we are going to introduce or to participate in a class about sexuality.
About sexuality?
In the elderly people.
Oh, elderly sexuality.
Oh, that's new.
That's different, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, I might learn something.
What we're trying to put across the table is that how much stigma there is against the third age on this particular subject of sexuality. Grandchildren sometimes said, Grandma and Granddad should not have sex because it's dangerous for them. And that is not a reality.
I don't have sex very much now. My partner and I deeply love each other, and we cuddle. I enfold her in my arms, and I feel joy, absolute joy. But there isn't a lot of penetration, let's put it like that.
There is an expression that said, factory is closing down, but the amusement park is about to open. Would you like to share your age?
I'm 72.
Está pensando un poco, pero cree 72. Miriam, you don't mind if
No,
I
I'm
ask
76, and I'm lesbian, and I have a partner for nearly 50 years.
Okay. Miriam has said, y ella es lesbiana, y tiene una compañera por casi 50 años. Aplaudible, aplaudible.
What I loved about the Cubans was when I told them that I was a lesbian, they didn't faint. They clapped because I'd been with my partner so long. They were pleased for me. I am absolutely astonished to be sitting here talking about sex with a lot of strangers in such an open, relaxed, informative way. This would not happen in England. I think the Cuban people are just fabulous. I mean, if you'd said well, we were going to spend the afternoon talking about sex with a lot of old people, I'd have said, oh, I don't think I like that. But that was really brilliant. They looked happy, they were cheerful, they're investing in life still. I think it's delicious.
It's early evening in Havana. Jan is getting ready for a double date with the 70-year-old lifeguard and the married couple she met at the beach.
Life is for experiences, and aren't I fortunate to be given the chance? Up to there, he's got a body of a 30-year-old. It's going to be interesting, especially as Ronaldo doesn't speak a word of English, which rather inhibits conversation, but we'll get by. I could at least say good evening.
Yeah.
What's that?
Buenas noches.
Oh, buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
Buenas
Yes.
¿Qué tal? How are you?
Oh, look!
Oh. Hello.
My goodness.
Hola.
Hola. Buenas tardes.
No, buenas noches.
Oh, buenas noches. Oh, my goodness. Thank you. Right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See you later. Enjoy your evening. Take care.
I know I've been married a few times, but I've never had anybody really to look after me. Oh, the car. I live on my own and have done for 14 years. But there's a part of me that would very much like to share. You have a car? You have a car? Like you? Car?
Moto.
Motorbike? Ah. I'm glad you didn't pick me up on that.
Jan and Ronaldo are heading to one of Havana's home-run restaurants, known as Paladares.
Thank you. Muchas gracias. Thank you. Hello.
Oh,
Hello. Hello, Erstez.
Hello.
Hello, Miriam. Oh, sorry. French way.
To help the lines of communication, Miriam and Orestes will be acting as their interpreters for the evening.
I feel so embarrassed that I speak no Spanish. And poor Ronaldo, I mean, you know, we're communicating with sign language.
By signs. That's universal. Okay.
Oh, thank you. Oh! That's a very impressive menu.
Do you need some help?
No, look. Another misconception of the young is when you get older, there is no such thing as a physical relationship. You have your children and that's it. That is not true. Believe you and me, the fires might slacken a bit, but they're still there. Ronaldo has been married a couple of times. I'm told that sometimes people divorce, but they stay in the same house.
That's true. In Havana, the problems of living, it's very difficult.
To find somewhere to live?
Yes.
The wife, the only
Yes.
wife, still living in his
Sí,
house?
todavía la primera
Sí.
vive ahí contigo.
But you don't share...
Ella duerme abajo, yo duermo arriba.
They sleep in different places.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. This is doing my head in. I've always paid the bills. I've always kept a roof over my head. I can always keep myself busy. But it would be lovely to have somebody whom one could go on holiday with or go to the theatre with. Up until the last 14 years, I was invariably in a relationship, and I was used to being part of a pair. Le soir est bien, très bien, mais en espagnol, ce n'est pas possible parce que je ne parle pas. Unfortunately, it may never happen now. Muchas gracias for the flores and for a lovely evening. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Adios.
Adiós.
May I have some toast, please?
It's the group's last day in Havana.
I thought that was terracotta, and I've just realised it's some sort of sausage meat.
It's chicken sausage, actually.
Is it?
Bobby and I took sleeping pills last night, so we had a good sleep.
Good for you.
I dreamt about you last night, Miriam.
Did you?
No, you wouldn't let me.
To make the most of his remaining time, Wayne has decided to venture out in a bid to improve his Spanish.
Buenos días. ¿Qué tal? Yeah. Un mesa por uno person.
Bienvenidos.
Gracias. Could I have a cafe? What's it called?
mojito. No, macchiato. No, all right. Black coffee.
Black short.
Espresso.
Yes.
Espresso. Con leche.
Like
Frio.
cortado.
Cortado.
Yes, I know.
Yes, that's what I meant. I want to thrill my husband with my Spanish when I get back to England. Gracias, señor. ¿Qué tal?
Bien.
Oh, muy bien. Thank you.
In Cuba, the game of dominoes is a national obsession. Having practiced against his hosts, Bobby is venturing out with Horacio to a popular spot in the residential neighborhood of Marinao. The pair are planning to take on some of the locals.
Anything you do, in any sport, you want to win.
That is
When you do
you are
bowls,
coming.
you do
That
snooker.
is what you are coming. If you are coming to lose, it's better not to go.
Yeah, you come to win.
I played dominoes when I was a kid. It's like playing cards in a way. The more you do it, the better you get at it.
What's up?
My name is Javier.
So, yeah.
Most important thing, when you get to a certain age, you've got to be active. You've got to get this bit going. This dies, body goes with it.
Even better. Lovely game, this, isn't it?
Hello, Jose.
Who is this?
It's Wayne. Who's this? Oh! Yeah, I just missed you. I just thought it'd be nice to have a little chat and say hi.
Any good news?
Oh, lots of good views. My God, the men are beautiful. Yes, there's a lot of eye candy in Cuba, I tell you that now. Well, I look forward to seeing you. Bye. Take care. Bye. Bye. I miss him. He's part of my life. You know, at my age, 69, what is important are the cuddles, the embracing, that knowing somebody's there. I think as you get older, the main thing that keeps a relationship together are separate bathrooms.
Present to that. There's it. Oh, that one.
Se acabó la sonadera. Fuera.
Great. This is my opening. Esto está bueno.
Yeah, it's quite enjoyable, really. I mean, I'm not very good at it. They're quite nice blokes, they were, and all. They brought me a beer, and they were friendly. They were very friendly.
If I lived here, obviously, you'd probably go to a place like that.
To mark the end of their time in Cuba, tonight the group are throwing a farewell party.
Is this yours? Yeah. Oh, I didn't really.
Jan has booked herself and Miriam into the hairdressers for a spruce up.
What do you want to do?
I just want rollers.
Ella quiere hacerse unos
To make it
rolos
high.
para hacérselo grande, así, alto.
Up with some height and
Algo,
maybe...
y quizás unos,
Maybe a
unos
cut.
tubitos así, ¿cómo se dice eso? Unos risitos aquí al lado.
Wait.
Ajá.
Miriam, do you go to the hairdresser?
No,
Not ever?
no, I don't. I like the way I look. That's what people don't understand.
I think that's admirable. I mean, I wish that I had the confidence to go out with no makeup, but I haven't. I envy you in a way.
I
It must
don't-
be very nice.
Now we get the Gypsy Rose Lee look. Cross my palm with silver. Now, not too hot. Il controllo. Agua. Per favor.
That is absolutely stunning. He's brilliant.
Dice que es brillante.
Oh, you are wonderful. Thank you. Mwah. Mwah.
Oh my God. It's too nice. It's too elegant.
I want to scrunch it like this. Scrunch, scrunch.
How do you feel?
Ridiculous.
Why?
It's not me.
Well, then run your hands through it
I'll
when you
sort
get
it out when I get home. Yes, I thought. You look ready.
I
It's a
haven't looked like
triumph.
this for years.
Oh.
Done, son?
It's 6 p.m.
There we are.
Party preparations are underway.
Very artistic, Wayne.
Oh, thank you.
You haven't lost your touch, love.
Oh, I haven't lost my touch. Lovely.
And a special delivery has arrived.
Oh, my God. That is incredible. Miriam won't like it, but I do.
Now I know why I'm Jewish when I look at that.
Yeah.
On festive occasions, it's traditional to serve a hog roast, Cuban style.
Smoking a cigar.
I tell you what, we could put a little rum, yeah?
Just a little, because the fruit absorb
Yes.
a lot.
And we'll all get drunk.
For sure.
I don't know if I leave it on the bone. I suppose I do, don't I? Some of it. Nice.
Hello.
Everyone the group have met during their stay has been invited.
First of all, what would you like to drink?
Hello, Miriam. Hello.
Marta, you're going to have a gin and tonic because that's the only thing I can do.
Hello, my friend. How you going, son? Lovely jubbly. Nice to see you. Good. Now, don't get too sexy.
Oh, Ronaldo, hello. Hello. How lovely to see you.
Would you like it? Oh, what's this?
Esto es para que tenga de recuerdo.
Das ist als Souvenir für Sie.
Para los momentos agradables que hemos pasado en estos días
For the
conversando.
moment that we are here,
Para que tenga
spend
ese recuerdo.
all the times here.
Oops. Oh! Oh!
Yeah.
For the time that
Oh, isn't that... Oh, that's very good. That's good. Thank you. How gorgeous. Aren't I lucky?
Okay, could you come and eat, please? Eat. Food. This way. Food.
Tony, this is Ronaldo, and we met swimming. He swims very well indeed, don't you? Ronaldo, you swim well. You are bueno, swim. Swim very well.
Señores, caballeros.
Thank you to our friends in Havana who've been so kind, so welcoming, so generous, so full of life. We have learnt so much from you, and we've had a wonderful week. Wonderful. And we want to come back. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. They are living fully and well. They are happy. They are still alive and searching and full of life, actually. And that's why I want to come back, because they give me hope. Steady, old man.
The Cubans never stop going, and they're excited still by life. And that's what they can teach us, to be excited every day, to wake up to a new day and think, I'm still alive, and I'm going to make full use of the day I've got left. Up, up, and finish.
You're going. It's been absolutely lovely.
Remember forever.
Oh my God, he's speaking in English. He says he will remember you forever.
And I will remember you.
Lo precioso lo tengo que dar.
He has the precious things in his heart.
Oh. Bye.
it was a
I do like Ronaldo. What's the trouble? Learning 2 words. And he said, no, fruit. It was just one of those rather sweet, rather magical moments that I'll always remember.
It's funny because I wasn't looking forward to this at all.
I wasn't.
And I've enjoyed it, you know. There's a lot of food left. Odio packing. I hate packing. The main thing is to have knickers at the top.
A bit of smelly on. Never know, do you?
Hasta luego.
Tony, thank you so much. It was such a pleasure being with you in your home.
Thank you so much. No, honestly, it's really happy. Right. I'm in. Ritorni pronto.
Yes, ritorni pronto. I'm understanding it more. I can't say it, but I understand Spanish much more now I've been here. Ajo is today. Or is it yesterday?